Okay, so let's imagine you have some kind of building. You need to create the sidewalk and kind of where that hits the street. So this is pretty easy, but I think it's still worth going into. We're going to create a floor, here. Sure, probably actually want to rename this. We'll go 6 inch just because the curb tends to be 6 inches, even though the sidewalk itself might be only 4 inches deep. We'll go with that, apply that. And we're just, create, basically just start drawing. And then we'll keep going out. Maybe it's a pretty good sidewalk. Okay, and it might, maybe there's rounded corner right here, so might just go in there and radius that, say 6 foot. Maybe there's some kind of inlet there. Let's just call that good. So, yeah, and then we might want to make sure that's on the right level. Okay. All right, that looks plausible. Maybe not quite as deep as that we would really tend to want to make it. And just prove that to 20 feet there. And we'll call that good. All right, so now if we want to have a tree element that we'd like to put into this, say there's a grate and that's going to cut through this, then all we need to do is need to draw that in. So wherever that happens to be, you guys would know better than I. Let's say it's something like that. Let's locate it a little bit better. Probably wouldn't put it right in the middle of the sidewalk. Probably move it down. All right, so that's going to give us that kind of grade. Looks maybe a little large. So maybe 5 feet, maybe even 4 feet. You guys will have your own that you'll have to make to your specifications. So let's say we do that. The next thing we might do is that, well, there's a grate. Let's just imagine that it's something like this. Then we got to have some material right there that the tree grows out of. So to do that, we'll just go in, create another floor. I don't really have a floor that makes any sense. I'm going to make one, duplicate. You always want to give it something that that you've created. And I'm just going to call this a tree grate, and it is at most it's 1 inch thick, and so this needs to be changed. So that, and then we want to kind of give it some material. I'm going to have a hard time finding something that makes a lot of sense. For now, we'll just throw that in there. I'm going to right click on that. And the dialog box that should be coming up for you is kind of off screen, and I cannot pull it over. So what you're looking for is duplicate material assets and assets. And that just makes sure that it's going to create a new kind of brand new material that just is built on the same idea of what that. And so I'm just going to call this metal grate. And I chose this particular one just because it's metal. So it's going to have a lot of the same kind of appearances and possibilities. Like if it was glass, if it's something clear, I'd want to go with glass or something that is clear. If it's a plastic, I'd go with plastic. So since it's metal, I'm just going to go with steel galvanized. That's good. So for now, I don't need to go into anything. I'm just going to change this color so it's kind of a little bit more like, looks like what I am wanting. So I know I've got it. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Apply. Great, great, great. Now I'm going to just I'm going to have it right there and say OK. And so now I should see if I look in my 3D view and I go to shaded, I see that piece right there. I do need to edit it because I need a place for the tree to actually grow out of. So edit boundary, and once again I just throw in some kind of opening. Ten by 10. I'm going to see kind of where I put that. That's in the center. I don't know, wherever it happens to be in your model, it's kind of where you want to put it. Just imagine that it's there. Okay, so now I have something where the tree can grow out of. Now I need to place a tree, right? So that's pretty easy. I'm going to go up to Site, Components. This is American Beach. Probably doesn't really matter at this point. Something that is. I should pick something that is desert friendly, but I don't know what that would be. So, all right. So now we've got that piece. One thing to note. You'll want to kind of place this in multiple, places. So, I mean, obviously in the floor, you're going to cut this several times. And wherever you need it to go. And then as far as the tree and try to grab those two things together. What you might do, just in case you get something wrong, you need to fix it. Why don't you try grouping it? And so what that does is that I can, if I hold down Control, I can copy that. And I can kind of use this to align things to it. But what that does is, like, let's just say that I need to edit this and edit that, and I don't know, this was wrong and I really wanted a circle instead of that. Once I finish that group, you can see that it changed also the group, basically an instance of that group. So it's kind of holds on to what's going on. So you just edit once and you don't have to worry about it. So that's essentially how I would start to create site elements. The trees look like that, not really that great. But when you go into realistic mode, which you'll rarely be in it, but those trees are allowed to, they have kind of a three-dimensional quality without you paying the price for like modeling all of that. All right, so think that's it. Again, you will never, almost never be in realistic view.